Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk more ISL, and tomorrow is the first time in the league's history that we're going to see the two new teams, the Tokyo Frog Kings and the Toronto Titans, in action. And with those teams we're going to see a lot of new swimmers, people that haven't raced in the ISL before. Today I'm going to bring you my top 5 exciting newcomers to the ISL this season. And these are guys I'm not only expecting to impress over the next 2 days of competition, but throughout the whole of the league and going on to the Olympic season this year. They're also swimmers that if you are playing the Fantasy ISL, you might want to put in your team. And I am hosting a league on the Fantasy ISL. Check that out on my Instagram. So we'll be giving away prizes to the top 3 at the conclusion of the ISL season. Without further ado, let's get started. And at number 5, I've got Shona Sato from Japan and representing the Tokyo Frog Kings. Shona is a breaststroker who has been absolutely killing it on the junior scene for a couple of years now, with medals at the World Junior Championships. It was, however, this year that he solidified himself as a threat on the global stage, regardless of age, when he went a 207 low long course 200 breaststroke and a 5900. Of course, the ISL is short course, and his achievements this year don't stop there. At the Japanese Short Course Championships last week, he went a new PB of 203.2, coming second behind Ippei Watanabe, the previous world record holder, and someone who isn't actually participating in the ISL. The reason he's not going to finish higher on my list is because the ISL already has some epic breaststrokers with the likes of Ilya Shimonovic, Adam Peaty, Ian Finnerty, Emi Saki, Marco Koch, don't let me forget about him. There's so many guys that are going to be able to challenge him when it comes to racing. So he's not going to get it all his own way. And he probably at this point is better in the long course format than he is the short course. Maybe that will change over the next 6 weeks. At number 4, I have a newcomer to the ISL, but not the international swimming scene. And that is comeback king Brent Hayden. Now, he's not the only big name to make a big comeback for this ISL, with Amory Laveau participating for the London Raw. The big difference between Brent and Amory is that while Amory has been back for a couple of years and hasn't really done anything big in terms of international races, Brent hasn't been back as long, having only announced his comeback for the 2019-2020 Olympic season. He already has participated at the very highest of highs when he went the Olympic qualifying time at one of the pro swims in America earlier this year in the 50 freestyle long course. Put the fact that he's already swimming near his best in long course with his epic pedigree in the short course pool, having both the Canadian records for the 50, 100 and 200, the 200 being a ridiculous time of 140.8, I don't see how he's not going to be a great asset to the Toronto Titans and the league as a whole, with great versatility for relays, skins and all the freestyle events. At number 3, we have Yuuri Aoshima. She's someone I did mention when I was talking to Brett Hawke on his podcast at the conclusion of last week's ISL matches. We know Yuuri is a great IM swimmer. She is the 2017 World Championship silver medalist in the 200 IM. She was the 2019 bronze medalist in the 400 IM, and she's a double Pan Pacs champion as well as being a winner at the Asian Games, Asian Championships and World University Games. Medley swimmers have great versatility at the ISL because they can do 200 of form strokes, both the 200 and 400 IM, even fill in a relay spot on the B teams, and even do things like the 400 free if they've got good pedigree in the 400 IM. And we know that Yuuri does. Last week at the Japanese Short Course Championships, she went a time of 4:24 in the 400 IM, which was quicker than anyone, including Melanie Margalis, went at the first round of matches at the ISL. She also went a 2:05.0 in the 200 IM, which was slower than only Melanie herself when she went the second fastest swim of all time in the 200. I think Yuuri is going to pop off for the Tokyo Frog Kings and be a great asset, really proven to be a big medley threat, taking down some of the more familiar household names in the medley, including, and dare I say it, beating Katinka Hozu. At number 2, I have a great sprint fly specialist in Takeshi Kawamoto. This is someone who's been more notable in the domestic scene than the international scene, with him already previously holding the 100 fly Japanese record of 49.6 from the 2018 World Championship trials, but he didn't do anything crazy when he did in fact get to the World Championships. He's actually lowered his Japanese record in the 100 fly with a 49.5 last week at the Japanese Short Course Championships, which would have been quicker than anyone at the ISL first round of matches. He also set the Asian record in the 50 metres butterfly in a 22.1, which was quicker than Dressel won his 50 fly-in and only a fraction slower than what Sebastian Chabot done to win the second match. We all know how important the sprinter's role is in the ISL, especially when it comes to potential skins events, and I think Tokyo Frog Kings have done great with this signing, and I think he's going to be a very exciting newcomer to the league. At number 1, I'm going to say that the most exciting newcomer this weekend is Toronto Titans and Sweden's Louise Hanson. Now, Louise is most notably known for her time at USC, training under Dave Saylor, who's actually a Tokyo Frog Kings coach, not a Toronto Titans coach. While at USC, she set the US Open record and NCAA record, basically the world record, the fastest ever time in the 100 yards butterfly. This has been since tied by Maggie McNeil, who would go on to win the 100 metres butterfly at last year's World Championships. While obviously the ISL was so in short course metres, not yards, I do think there is a lot of similarities, and her great underwaters are going to come into huge play when it comes to the ISL. We also know she's very versatile because this year she's moved her studies to Loughborough in the UK, and a couple of weeks ago they done their annual Big 50s event, where every one of their uni swimmers will swim all 4 50s, the 100 IM and a 50 underwater, and the cumulative time of all 6 events will rank the swimmers' finishes. Louise comes second behind none other than Marie Wattle, who was absolutely unreal for the London Roar in their match on this weekend just gone, and she only finished 10ths behind Mary in this crazy versatile sprint event. Just looking at some of the times that Louise went, we had a 25.9 fly, a 25.4 underwater, a 27.5 backstroke, a 33.7 breaststroke, probably the weakest of her strokes, a 25.2 free, and a 60.3 IM. Now, these aren't like over a whole weekend, they're back-to-back, pretty much lactate tolerance. So a 60.3 in that scenario, couldn't that mean she's a threat to win some of the matches in something like 100 IM? Well, obviously showing great ability on both the fly, the backstroke, and the freestyle individuals, being able to do a 50 and 100 of all them events. We'll probably see her not bother with the individual breaststroke, mind you. So there you have it. My most exciting newcomers to the league this weekend. And who knows, maybe they'll swim well, maybe there'll be others who are more exceptional. If you have anyone that you find exciting, let me know in the comments. Who are you excited to see race for the first time this weekend? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please could you like it, subscribe to the channel, check me out on Instagram at the swimsuitguy95, and as always, I'll see you on the next video.